Watch NBC Nightly News weeknights at 6:30 on WESH 2.
Going everywhere news breaks, bringing you right to the story. With complete coverage at 6 p.m. Summer Knowles, Stuart Moore, First Warning Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi. WESH 2 News at 6. Local, live, late breaking.
First Warning Weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by your Southern Lexus dealer.
Now at 6, a daughter is devastated by the loss of her father.
He's been a law enforcement officer like my whole life. And he was a good officer. And he was a good dad.
Only on WESH, she lends new insight on what led to the murder of the former Orlando police officer.
By seeing an active patrol that's on presence 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it's going to have our tourists feel more safe than they are.
A new push to bring more patrols to Daytona Beach's boardwalk. The steps city leaders are considering to make it happen.
And certain driver's licenses in Florida could soon look different than others. Why one lawmaker says it's all to keep elections safe.
WESH 2 News starts now with breaking news.
And that breaking news, Eustis police say they've arrested a man wanted in an attempted abduction. I'm Michelle Imparato.
And I'm Stuart Moore. We first told you about this yesterday. WESH 2's Gail Pascal Brown is live tonight with what we just found out from police. Gail.
Absolutely, Stuart. I just finished talking to the police chief here in Eustis, and he tells me that officers arrested Gregory Lockwood today around 2:15. Now, she was not injured, and she was able to identify the suspect. As I mentioned, he is 55 years old. He's a retired Navy guy. They arrested him at his home, and he is in jail tonight under no bond. Covering Lake County, live in Eustis, I'm Gail Pascal Brown, WESH 2 News.
The family of a former Orlando police officer who was murdered on New Year's Day wants the maximum punishment for the man charged in the killing.
Former officer Dennis Turner was shot outside of a home belonging to one of his wife's family members. Her father, Jeffrey London, was caught and is charged with this crime.
And as WESH 2's Greg Fox tells us, London wasn't even supposed to have a gun.
London took off from the scene after the shooting and was captured in Highlands County. He will be brought back to Orange County tomorrow morning. Turner's funeral is set for the 17th.
Today, a judge issued another arrest warrant for the woman accused of killing her dog at Orlando International Airport. Investigators say Allison Lawrence drowned her 9-year-old miniature schnauzer in the airport bathroom because she wasn't allowed to take it on an international flight. Her lawyer is trying to withdraw from the case. He says she hasn't paid him or kept in contact with him. He was supposed to be in court for a hearing this morning, but didn't show up. Now the judge is ordering him to explain why and put out a warrant to arrest Lawrence.
He'll have 5 days to show good cause in writing for his failure to appear. As for Ms. Lawrence, the court will issue a capias.
There was already another warrant for Lawrence after she missed a hearing in September. If she is taken back into custody, she'll be held with no bond until she goes on trial for animal cruelty.
The future of Eatonville's historic Hungerford property is moving one step closer to a final decision. The Orange County School Board met today and decided not to grant the town of Eatonville a 90-day extension to develop its own plan for the land. School board members said negotiations with Dr. Phillips Charities are already underway, and delaying the process could jeopardize the deal. The draft agreement would allow Dr. Phillips Charities to buy the property for $1 million. Plans for the future of the property include adding green space, education facilities, a community hub, and affordable housing. Town leaders argued that they need more time to protect Eatonville's history.
We only have 1.1 square miles in Eatonville, and that's not a whole lot of land. But we want to make sure that we do the best at our potential to get what we deserve.
With the extension denied, all eyes now turn to next week when the school board is expected to hold a final vote. Tonight, Eatonville leaders will hold their own town meeting to discuss the next steps and to hear from residents.
A man accused in a road rage shooting wants his charges dropped, saying he was protecting himself. Deputies say Richard Rosario fired multiple shots into someone's car, grazing the victim's neck. This happened back in July on Ponciana Boulevard. Now he has filed a motion asking for charges to be dismissed. The motion claims the victim pulled out a gun first, so Rosario is protected under Florida's stand your ground law. Rosario had been out of jail for nearly 10 years at the time of his arrest. Back in 1996, he was in prison accused of murder in the Bronx, even though he maintained he was in Daytona at the time. He was freed in 2016 when the DA decided he did not get a fair trial. Daytona Beach could soon have more officers patrolling near the boardwalk. City leaders will vote tomorrow on a plan to reopen a police satellite office inside a beachfront hotel.
WESH 2's Pamela Combe caught up with the chief about how soon this could start.
The vote will take place at Wednesday's City Commission meeting. If approved, the police department will enter into a 2-year agreement that will automatically renew every year after that.
With the 2026 legislative session starting next week, Democratic lawmakers have introduced proposals aimed at limiting the governor's emergency powers. The proposals are intended to draw attention to Governor Ron DeSantis's continued use of a 2023 emergency order that was issued in response to former President Joe Biden's immigration policies. The proposals include a bill that would limit emergency orders to 1 year, with extensions requiring support from 2/3 of the legislature, and a resolution calling for an end to the 2023 emergency order. Another bill would create a state immigration enforcement action database.
The governor has made a mockery of the emergency powers granted to him by the Florida Constitution. And I think it's long past time for the Florida legislature to exercise our rights as a co-equal branch of government.
However, with Republicans holding supermajorities in both houses of the legislature, the measures appear to have little chance during the upcoming legislative session, which starts on January 13th.
A potential big win for NASA and the future of space exploration. A new budget plan released by Congress rejects steep cuts proposed by President Trump. The budget plan gives NASA $24.4 billion for this fiscal year, which started back in October. That's well more than the $18.8 billion proposed by the White House. Congress's plan also rejected the Trump administration's attempt to cut funding for NASA science programs by nearly 50%. Nothing is set in stone, however. The House and Senate still need to vote on the bill, which could happen as early as this week before heading to the president's desk. Speaking of space, we are just 1 month away from the potential opening of the launch window for America's first crewed mission to the moon in over 50 years. Artemis 2 will take a 4-person crew around the moon and back to Earth. No boots on the ground this time, though. The space launch system that will take them there is currently inside the vehicle assembly building. Rollout could happen as early as next week.
It's been a project that has been delayed several times.
Still ahead when demolition could begin on the Flagler Beach Pier. Plus,
I think it's a good idea because we should let the nation know who you are.
Certain driver's licenses in Florida could soon look different than others. Next at 6, why lawmakers say it is all to keep elections safe. Tony.
And Michelle, if you like the warm weather like today, many folks near 80 or better, there's a nice stretch of this headed our way. I'll let you know when records could fall. Straight ahead.
Central Florida's most trusted live radar is only on WESH 2 First Warning Weather.
Tonight, the battle for power after the stunning capture of Nicolás Maduro, President Trump's stark new warning to Venezuela's leaders, and the new images of a person of interest in that double murder of a dentist and wife in Ohio. Tonight on Nightly News.
A new bill in the Florida legislature calls for putting a special marking on some driver's licenses and state IDs. Supporters say it's about election security.
But critics say it could make voting harder for certain groups. Dave Elias with our sister station shows us how everyday voters could be affected.
In Flagler County, demolition could begin on the Flagler Beach Pier this week. The city announced the demolition yesterday, not saying exactly when it will start. The project to rebuild the pier has been delayed several times, most recently over the summer because turtle nests were in the way. No word on when the more than $14 million project is set to wrap up.
All right, let's turn now to our forecast, Tony. We started off again this morning, a little foggy, and we certainly turned up the heat this afternoon.
Low 81 degrees in Orlando today. Other areas were in the 70s, but we're going to talk about the heat here in a second. I want to show you another gorgeous sunset right now across New Smyrna Beach. And you can see a couple boats out there in the channel. And then look at that. Oh, I love that sky. Sunsets now getting a little bit later and later each day, gaining about a minute or two as we take a look at those temperatures outside. 66 Palm Coast, 71 Wildwood, 71 back towards Palm Bay. A couple showers there north of the Bahamas and a couple showers here west of the Tampa Bay area, just kind of sitting out there for the time being. So a few clouds overnight tonight, but you can see by 9 o'clock models hinting at some fog already trying to develop and push over Interstate 75 by the midnight hour. So we'll give you an update with Fog Tracker tonight at 10 and 11. 12-hour forecast. Here's a look now at Orlando. You can see the fog out the door in the morning. Temperatures falling back into the upper 50s. And Ocala, in the upper 50s to the lower 60s as well. Steady temperatures overnight tonight once that fog moves in and settles on in. DeLand 56, Wildwood, Leesburg, Claremont, all right around 56 degrees. And you can see not a big spread in temperatures tonight, not with a west wind there and with fog around. Once that fog burns off, that foggy night will give way to sunny skies and another gorgeous afternoon. Highs tomorrow once again running about 75 to 80. There's Wedgefield 79, Winter Garden 78, DeBary 78, and Point Siena coming in at about 78 degrees. Look at Ocala. Wildwood, Winter Haven, upper 70s to near the 80-degree mark. Palm Bay, Melbourne, you're in the upper 70s to near the 80-degree mark as well. So this big dome of high pressure kind of settles in over us now as we head into Thursday, Friday, and gets a kick to the east with a developing area of low pressure in the front that's pushing into the Tennessee Valley late Friday and then on into Saturday. So this is a trend that keeps us warm here, this type of setup across central Florida. Now for the runners Thursday morning for the 5K trip around the world there, 60, 59, and 59, some patchy fog around. And then as we take a look at the launch forecast for Thursday afternoon, looking good for that next round of Starlink satellites set to go up early in the afternoon. 95% go. We'll watch the cumulus clouds. And then let's talk about this warm stretch now. Daytona Beach, looking for a beach day. I think you're going to be happy now, Thursday, Friday, and even on into Saturday coming in at about 81. Look at Melbourne, 79, 80, 81 as well. So big stretch of warm weather. The party comes to an end there on Sunday, though, but not before a couple records could be tied or broken. That's Orlando, that is Sanford, and that is Leesburg. Near record heat or record-breaking heat. Now, behind this front, which will work in on Sunday, we'll see a nice drop-off in the temperatures. Unfortunately, for our drought, we are not going to see a lot of rain with this cold front, but we will go from 83 down to 67 for an afternoon high there as we get you on into Monday. Let's talk about the marathon weekend and then the marathon itself kicking off at 4:30, coming in at about 62, 5 a.m., 61. And then right around 7:19 sun up there, we will be dealing with a little bit of patchy fog, but overall not a bad looking forecast. So there's Wednesday, there's Thursday, there's Friday, 79, 81, and 83. Notice the overnight low temperature starting to come back up. And then as we head into the weekend, you can pick out where the front is very early Sunday morning. We go from 83 to 75. And then on Monday, a cooler start to the work week with an afternoon high temperature only at 67. Now, 50 in town will be the lower 40s north and west, and more of the same come Tuesday morning. By Tuesday afternoon, we are talking about a temperature very, very comfortable, right around 71 degrees. All right, let's check in with Darren, get an update on sports.
Hey there, Tony. The Magic are on the road tonight trying to do something they haven't done since November. Details next. Plus, Orlando's pro volleyball team is coming off a league title. How they're planning on following up that championship campaign next.
WESH 2 Sports is sponsored by Mullinax Ford, Florida's largest Ford retailer. For upfront pricing and no dealer fees, shop Mullinax, where car buying is simple, easy, fun. The U.S. strikes Venezuela.
The capture of Venezuela's president and his wife,
both of whom now face American justice.
Here in Central Florida, a community bracing for what's next.
We are hopeful but facing uncertainty.
WESH 2 News, live as developments break.
We asked, are you going to invade the country? We were told no.
On TV, online, and on the app.
We're going to run the country right.
We need to get a democratic government back in Venezuela.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News. Now, WESH 2 Sports, sponsored by Mullinax Ford.
It's time to start a streak. Hello, everybody. I'm Darren Stoltzfus. The Orlando Magic have a chance to do something today they haven't done in more than a month. Start a winning streak. Orlando's on the road in D.C. tonight against a 9-win team that they beat by 31 in November. This is just one of those games you have to win. More news after this.
We have several stories we're following for you tonight at 7.
Including the very latest on the attempted abduction of a young girl in Eustis. We are hearing from the police chief for the first time. Plus, the complicated politics of intervening and capturing another country's leader. A live report from Washington, D.C. on what's next for Venezuela and Maduro, who now sits in a New York jail cell.
Then tonight at 11, new information about a deadly alligator attack in Osceola County. What FWC says happened moments before that alligator grabbed a woman by the torso and how her husband desperately tried to rescue her. That's tonight at 11. Remember, WESH News is always online at WESH.com. Get updates anytime on our free WESH News mobile app.
Thank you so much for watching and have a great night.